Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Hubbard here, and today we're going to be doing Unit 8 Learning Target 5 notes. We're going to be talking about adding and subtracting radical expressions. So when you're adding and subtracting radical expressions, the first thing you want to do is simplify the radicals. So you want to make sure that you've taken out all your pairs and all of that is taken care of before you move on. Then you want to combine like radicals, which means you want to have the same number on the radical side. So think of it this way. We had 2x plus 3x, and we would add that together to be 5x. But if we had 2x plus 3y, we couldn't add that together. Same kind of thing with radicals. So if you look like on that right side there, you can take and you can add 4 square root of 5 with 7 square root of 5. You cannot take 4 square root of 5 and add it with 7 square root of 3. So we're going to be starting today with just the basics of combining like terms. So today's actually going to be a pretty quick lesson, which is good because we've had a couple of long ones the past couple of days. So we want to check so that they have the same radical. So I see that these have the same radicals. Now radicals kind of serve like an x. When we add like terms, did we add the exponent of the x's? No, we kept them the same. So what we're going to do is we are going to add the number on the outside. Once we see that they have the same radical, we're going to add the number on the outside, and then you keep the radical the same. So all this is 5 square root of 2. Taking a look at number 2, I see that both of these are square roots of 3, so I can take and I can subtract their coefficients. 4 minus 2 is 2, and then again I'm going to keep that as the square root of 3. Taking a look at number 3. So I see, okay, both of these are the square root of 3. That means I can add them together. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add their coefficients. And 5 plus 2 is 7, and then we have the square root of 3. So I have 7 square root of 3. Now here's what's tricky on number 4. Students see the square root of 7 and they think that that means 0. But if there's no number out front, just like with an x, if there's no number out front, that number is 1. So that's really the same as 1 square root of 7. So since both of these have a square root of 7, we can take 1 minus 4, and that's going to give us a negative 3 and then square root of 7. So negative 3 square root of 7 is our final answer for number 4. Let's take a look at number 5. Now, so for number 5, we can only add things with the same radical. And when I write it out, I like my radicals, the thing under, to be going in descending order. So there's nothing that I can add the square root of 2 with because both of these are the square root of 3. So I'm going to write that one first. I'm going to do 3 square root of 2. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to add those two together. I see that they have the same radical, so I can take and I can add 4 and 2. 4 plus 2 is 6, and then underneath the radical is 3. So I have 3 square root of 2 plus 6 square root of 3. So then, taking a look at this one, my smaller radical is 5, and I see that both of these have radical 5. So I can go ahead and I can do 2 minus 8. So 2 minus 8 is negative 6 square root of 5, and then we're going to add 3 square root of 7. Now we can't add those two together because they have different radicals. Let's take a look at these last two. That's it, folks, and we're done. Okay, so I see that I have first that 7 is my smaller radical, and I have 2 of them that have radical 7. So that means that I can take and I can add 3 plus 2, which is 5 square root of 7. Then again, remember that this 10 has a 1 in front of it, so that's technically minus 1 square root of 10. So now I can combine these two. So I'm going to be taking 2 minus 1, which is just 1 square root of 10. Well, we don't actually technically have to write that 1 out at all. So we could just do 5 square root of 7 plus the square root of 10. And this right there is your final answer. So let's take a look at take a look at number 8 here. So I can combine 13 and 13, right? So I could take 9 minus 2, which is 7, and again, that's going to stay as radical 13. And then this is the same as a negative 1 times the square root of 17. So 2 minus 1 is just going to give me 1 square root of 17. Again, I don't have to write that 1 out there. So this is going to become 7 square root of 13 plus the square root of 17. So that right there is your final answer for number 8. So that concludes your note video for today. You can go ahead and show me your completed note sheet when you're done. Thanks for listening. Hi, guys.